Hello everyone. Today I am going to do a very important and very scoring topic of English writing, that is letter writing. Letter writing is a very common topic for class 10, even for class 12 in CBSE, and this is the topic where you can score full marks. Believe me, you can actually score full marks if you follow what all I am going to tell you. अक्सर बच्चे कहते हैं कि लेटर राइटिंग का कोई यूज नहीं है. These days we are more on WhatsApp and other such platforms where we can communicate each other. So letter writing as a means of communication is not so popular these days. Letter writing is something which is very important from official purpose. All right, because when something goes on black and white, like in letter form, whether it is an application or any sort of thing, it is a kind of record. Similarly, if you talk about personal letters also, just ask your parents or your grandparents. They must definitely be keeping some letters of their near and dear ones as the memories. So they make memories as well. Now let's talk about the objectives of letter writing. The objectives of letter writings may be many and varied. We may write to inform, inquire, complain, request, thank, congratulate, console, direct, invite, explain, narrate, reply, and so on. In brief, we can say that if we have to communicate our feelings, if we have to communicate what we want, for that we need letter writing. Some may be formal, some informal. It is a situation, ordinary or involving a problem, that creates a feeling or need or purpose to write. You all know that letters are categorized in two ways: informal or personal letters, which are written to parents, friends, and relatives, and formal or official letters, which are like to business firms, for example, placing an order, etc., to government departments, public organizations, municipal authorities, etc. So, these are some examples actually. So, whenever the letters are written to higher authorities, whenever the letters written to offices, or to any business firm, even the letter to editor. All right, these all are known as formal letters or official letters. Letter writing is asked as a question in almost every board. Let's talk about the marking scheme of the letter first so that you are able to know on what basis your letter will be marked. So the letters are marked on the basis of format, content, and expression. If the letter is for 10 marks, then let me tell you, for format, we have 2.5 marks for personal letters and 3 marks for formal letters. Content is also like 2.5 marks for personal letters and 2 marks for formal letters. An expression, whether it is a formal letter or an informal one, the expression always carries 5 marks, means 50% of the weightage. But those 5 marks can further be divided like this. For opening sentence, you get 1 mark, the way you begin your letter. Closing sentence also, the way you conclude your letter, 1 mark is there. Linguistic ability, which I've already discussed with you, carries 3 marks. So in total, 5 marks. So please understand, whatever weightage the letter is having, 50% of it goes for expression and the other 50% for format and content. Now let me talk to you one by one about these three components on the basis of which your letter will be marked. The first and foremost, as I told you, is the format. So here you can see I have given the traditional format with commas. See, every board follows a different format. Basically, there are two types of. One is the traditional format in which we put commas, and another one is the box type format where there are no commas. I have seen students being too much worried about the format. Children, let me tell you, there is no hard and fast or there is no specific formula of writing a format. The thing is that the components of the format must be there in whatever way you follow it. If you are following the traditional format, please do it properly. Otherwise, if you are following the box type format, that is also right. Now, what are the components? The first and foremost is the sender's address. See, I have written an address here: A4 Kumar Lane, Ajapur Kala, Dehradun. Now, please note in what way have I written it. First of all, you can see the house number is there, followed by a comma. Then the lane is there, followed by another comma. In the next line, name of colony is there, again followed by a comma, and then the name of city. And the whole sender's address, you can write your own address in the same way. It carries half mark. After that, we have to leave a line. I've written it on the kind of sheet which you'll be using for writing. Okay, so that you are very well aware of how many lines to leave after what. So after sender's address, you need to leave a line. Then you will write the date. Please understand, the date can be written in two ways. Either you write it the way I have written it here, the way it is written, 11th August 2022. All right. See, there are other ways of writing dates also. You can write it in one more way. That is, if the same date has to be written, we can also write it like August 11, comma 2022. But please understand, if you are using the short form of August, for example, if you write it like 11th for August, you are writing only AUG, and then you are writing 2022. Let me tell you, children, you are going to lose marks for it because it will not be accepted. Similarly, if you write date like this, you are just writing it in this way, or you are writing it in this way. These are also the ways which are not to be accepted. All right. So you need to write the dates only in two ways. Either you write this way or you write this way. You know, August 11, 2022, this is the American pattern of writing date where month comes before the date. But 11th August 2022, this is British format of writing date. So both of them are accepted, but these short forms are not at all accepted. I hope you understand. After that, again, you will leave a line, and then you will write receiver's first designation, means the concerned person whom you are writing the letter. After that, the name of institution, organization, department, whatever thing to which the person belongs. And then, of course, you will write the address, right? So here, as you can see, this in this format, I think the letter is supposed to be written to the manager of the National Bookstore. So that's why I have given the manager, National Bookstore, Paltan Bazar, Dehradun. And see, the commas are put after the manager, comma, the National Bookstore, comma, Paltan Bazar, and then Dehradun. After Dehradun, there is a full stop because the receiver's address ends here. All right. So this way, after leaving a line, we'll write receiver's address. Then again, we'll leave a line, and then we'll write salutation. Salutation means dear sir. Children, let me tell you, dear sir, if we write it like this, it is written in formal letter only. Children often get confused. They always ask, why are we writing dear? No, if we are writing dear sir, it means that we are formal in our tone. Okay. But if we write my dear brother, my dear father, then it becomes personal. So after that, of course, the body of letter will be there. And then at the end, subscription is there, which will be yours truly or faithfully, and then your full name should come. Now, please understand, let me tell you a very common mistake which children often make. For yours, what do? They put an apostrophe, which is completely wrong. It must be without apostrophe, Y capital, and then if you are writing truly or faithfully, it has to be it should begin with small letter and followed by a comma, and then full name should come here. If you don't write full name, then you don't get marks. Please understand. All right. So I hope you all have understood this traditional format of a formal letter. Now, next is the format of personal letter. You can see here everything else is same. The sender's address is also the same. After leaving a line, the date is also the same. After leaving a line, salutation is also same. All right. But the only one thing which is missing here is receiver's address, receiver's designation and address. Okay. Because it is a personal letter. That's why. Right. But yes, one more difference is there. You can see it in subscription, children, that here the subscription is yours affectionately or yours lovingly. Yours faithfully cannot be the subscription in personal letter. Yours truly cannot be the subscription in personal letter. And then after that, only first name is supposed to be written. Right. Now, let me tell you one more very important thing. For example, you are writing a letter to your father. All right. You are living in some hostel and you are writing to your father. So you cannot write dear Papa. You have to write dear father. If you are writing it to your mother, so you have to write dear mother, not dear mummy. This way you will lose marks for salutation, right? So please use proper words. I told you box type format, which is there without commas. In this format, we do not use commas. Of course, wherever comma is necessary as a punctuation rule, we will definitely use it, but not other commas. Like as you can see here, in the address, I have given different address here. B5 is the house number and then followed by a comma. As a punctuation rule, a numeral is always followed with a comma when it has to be separated with another word. Okay, so B5, comma, Saket, and then in next line, name of city, New Delhi, and then pin code is also given. As far as pin code is concerned, let me tell you, you can give it or not give it. It doesn't make any difference. After that, another leaving a line, then you have to write date. Here I have written the date in different way, American way. You can also write it in British way. Then again, after leaving a line, we have given the receiver's designation and address. So here also you can see that no comma has been put at the end. Okay. After that, of course, salutation, dear sir, is there. And here I have given for subject as well. Children, let me tell you very clearly. Those who are in CBSE, they should follow this box type format only. And for them, subject is compulsory to be written in the formal letters. That way, subject must be there in all formal letters. For ISC students, I do not recommend it because there are no specific marks for subject. See, if you write the subject, you do not get any extra marks. But if you make any mistake while writing it, then of course your marks will be deducted. All right. So from examination point of view, children, you may leave a subject. This is meant for ICSE students only, right? But for CBSE students, it is mandatory for you to write subject in the formal letters. And then, of course, at the end, yours faithfully and then full name. Now, let's talk about the body of the letter, means the paragraphs which you are going to write. You need to see the word limit that you need to follow. Generally, 150 to 200 words are written in a letter. All right. So, as far as the body of the letter is concerned, it has to be divided in minimum 3 paragraphs. Please mind my words. Minimum 3, maximum 5, 4 or 5. All right. So, how are these paragraphs to be divided? Let me talk about that. First is the opening paragraph. And in the opening paragraph, you must mention the purpose of writing the letter. Okay, why you are writing the letter, you need to answer that and it must be clarified in the opening paragraph only. After that, middle paragraph, or you can say the body, of course, the details which you give, and they can further be divided into 2 paragraphs also. State the problem and the inconvenience caused to you if writing a letter of complaint. And then, yes, concluding paragraph in which you need to say what you want to be done. So, children, we have talked about the format and the body as well. Now, let me talk about the expression. Expression is the linguistic ability, means the language that you use, and language is the kind of tone that you follow in your letter. So, let me tell you certain points about the tone used in a letter. For example, if you are requesting for reply in your letter, what kind of tone are you going to follow? See, if you're writing it in an informal way, all right, if it is a personal letter and you are requesting for a reply, you can always say, I will be glad to hear from you, or it will be nice to hear from you as you may find time to drop a letter. Okay. If it is some semi formal way means that you are writing to elder brother or a cousin of yours or a friend of yours, then you can be like, I shall look forward to hearing from you as soon as you have time to write. But if you are requesting for a reply in a formal way, okay, in a formal letter, you are requesting for a reply. So you can write it like, it would be much appreciated if you could inform me as soon as it may be convenient. I hope by this you are able to understand tone that you are supposed to use in different types of letters. All right. Now, see here I have given some suggestions to begin a formal letter. It is a very common problem that I find among students. Students always complain, ma'am, we don't know how to begin the letter. How should we open our letter? So, for that, there are some suggestions. Like it should be either in response to an earlier communication or have a reference to the topic of the letter. Please come straight to the point in your letter. Don't talk about here and there. Okay, children, you are writing a letter. You are not talking on phone. So, for example, you can begin your formal letters like, I have written this letter to, and then state the purpose of writing the letter. Or through my letter, I want to draw your kind attention towards, with reference to the advertisement published in this newspaper on such and such date, I would like to, and then please write the purpose of writing your letter. All right. Sometimes when you are writing to the editor, so you can always say, through the column of your esteemed newspaper, I would like to draw the attention of the public and the authorities towards such and such problem or whatever it is. Right. So I hope you have got an idea in what way you can begin a formal letter. Let's talk about something very important, that is general aberrations, means the kind of errors or mistakes that students usually commit in their exams. First is beginning the letter with a question like, how are you? A very common mistake. How are you? I hope you are fine. I hope this letter finds you in the pink of your health and this and that, blah blah blah. Please don't begin your letter like this. All right? You lose marks for it. Then another kind of mistake that children usually make is wrong format of writing date, which I have already discussed with you, children. If you have to write the date, please do it in two ways only. If we have to write the date, today's date, we'll write it like 13th January 2023. Okay? Or we may also write it as January 13, comma 2023. But you are not supposed to write like this, okay, or like this. These are all wrong ways. And yes, you can't even write it like this, 13th Jan, okay, 2023. This will be wrong. If you write it like 13th Jan 23, this will also be wrong. So please follow only these two ways to write the date. This is a very common mistake which students commit. Now, another mistake is no paragraphs in the body of the letter. It is usually seen that after writing dear sir or dear ma'am, whatever is required, they write the whole thing in one paragraph, for which they lose marks. Okay, so remember, you need to divide the body of the letter in at least three, or it can be further 4 or 5 paragraphs, but at least 3 paragraphs have to be there. Then, using the wrong salutation. Wrong salutation means sometimes children don't like to use dear in the formal letter. Beta, dear dash, whatever it is, dear sir, dear ma'am, it is a formal way of saying. And as I told you, no nicknames in personal letters. Like you are not supposed to write dear bhai. And please do not use any Hindi word while writing any English composition. All right, whether you are writing an essay or a report or article, speech, letter, whatever, do not use any Hindi word, and do not use SMS language, WhatsApp language, which you people are very familiar of these days. Okay, so please don't use such language in your compositions. And yes, one more important point, using apostrophes in subscriptions. This also I've already discussed with you. Let me tell you once again, like when you write yours faithfully, so you have to write it like this only. You should not like write it like this. Okay. And then writing names in subscription. Let me remind you once again, if you are writing a formal letter, full name should be there with surname. And if you are writing a personal letter, only first name should be there. So this way, I have told you what all is important about writing letters for examination purpose especially. If you still have any queries and doubts, you may drop them in the comment box. And please don't forget to like and share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.